Welcome to part 2 of my acrylic painting, where I'm trying to make it as intricate and crazy as possible. So I'm trying to just have a bunch of doodles and kind of blended aspects just to make it have that trippy, artistic look. So I've done some like this. I did my massive oil painting a few months ago. That was 4 by 5 feet, and I had a bunch of tiny details, and I really liked how that one turned out. So I want this one to be similar. I haven't done a large acrylic painting in a while, so this one will be fun to see how it looks different versus the oil. And now I'm going through and finding a few parts of the painting where I can do some kind of colors that work. I want to make sure that they go well together. So some of the purple areas I want to do that light blue with, and I'm just trying to create a nice contrast. I'm gonna do this one similar to the oil painting, where when the whole painting is covered, that's pretty much a third of the way through. And I'm gonna have a layer of smaller details and then even smaller ones after. Unlike the oil painting that I did, this isn't just going to be a bunch of small doodles. I want to have a lot of kind of variation. So I want to have some large ones that don't have a bunch of texture or a lot of intricacy to it. I want to have some areas that are just left without as much detail, so that the areas with a lot of detail stand out a lot more. Like I mentioned in part 1, I am trying to go through and do a lot of the lines and go with my Sharpie and do a lot of doodles at the beginning and the end of each session that I paint. I find this is a good way to kind of force myself to use different spaces within the painting. And it's nice because even if I don't feel like I did a lot in the painting, I can end or start with just some more areas of that kind of cool detail. Some paintings I don't do this if I have more of a large focal point that I'm trying to do and I'm not trying to make it as intricate as possible. But for this one, because that is the kind of end goal that I want, I'm going to just keep doing that. Sometimes it feels like I have nothing to do and I don't really have any ideas, but that's usually when I just do a random line and create a shape out of it. And those actually sometimes turn out to be my favorite parts of the painting. So I'm going through with a lot of orange right now. I usually tend to do it where if I do a darker color, I do a brighter color right after. And not necessarily with each other and contrasting each other, but I'll do a lighter color to some of the other darker ones that sometimes I don't realize that it'll look good together until I've done a few other colors, and then I use, for example, like here, the orange, and I see some other spots where the orange could look good. So it's just kind of a constant challenge to find the balance of colors, but also of detail now. I wanted to go in and add a lot more yellow. Usually I just only have a few aspects with yellow, but I really like how they looked in the other one that I did. And like I mentioned in part 1 of this painting, especially at the beginning and at this phase, you think that you have a lot of one color. Then you have a few more painting sessions, you add more colors, and you realize you can add even more of that color. So it's kind of just, sometimes I feel like I have way too much of one, or then you wait a little bit and it's actually the perfect amount, or you want more. So I want to try doing more of this neon yellow and see how it looks. I think the key for this one is not having super large background sections with it. I've done that in the past and I didn't love the way it looked. Maybe I'll do it again, but yeah, for now I'm just kind of going through, like I talked about earlier, just being strategic with the little parts and details that I'm doing. And once the painting is fully covered, then I get more specific with how I want to section it out within the larger doodles. At this point of the painting, I looked at it and I realized I didn't have the direction or the intricacy that I wanted for kind of this stage of it. So I didn't want to do more doodles just for the sake of it. So I thought coloring in more of the aspects would kind of help me. Sometimes when I see a part that's already kind of fully done, it motivates me to look at the open space around it more and kind of see how I can make it work. Sometimes by doing this, I actually kind of work backwards in my process. So if I see a aspect that I have most of the colors done, except for textures and shading, I'll actually look beside it and see what other colors I want. And from there, I see the open space and create a doodle or a section or just something, sometimes geometric kind of shapes or more kind of 3D stuff to almost blend the colors better. So usually I do a doodle and then do the colors with the ones around it. But when I get to this point and sometimes I feel a little bit stuck, I do the opposite, and sometimes that turns out really well. So this one's kind of interesting just with where it is. About half my paintings, I kind of have this feeling where I don't kind of like it at the halfway point. So we'll see how this one turns out. But for now, I'm just trying to kind of cover as much as possible to see if that'll spark more creativity and some of the extra details that I want to do. So now I'm going through and adding some red, and later I'm going to add some orange. Like I talked about before, this is just to kind of fill in more of this space so I can get an idea of kind of what other doodles I want to do for the second layer. So I mentioned this in the first part, but once all of the painting's covered, that's still not even the halfway point, and then I start with some other layered doodles and blending other doodles together. So I'm just trying to go and cover as many of these areas as I can. Some of them won't be covered as I'm doing other ones, and I wait and usually have another color that I use just a little bit throughout the painting. I'll probably have 2 or 3 of those kind of on the last layer that are usually brighter and help contrast with the darker background colors, or darker and contrast with the brighter ones. So yeah, now I'm just going through adding a little bit of that orange in some of these spaces. And yeah, I like how it's coming together more now that I added more of these colors throughout it. So yeah, thank you for watching this part, and I'll post the next one soon.